Hello, everybody. It's a Wednesday. That means only one thing. It's time now for Supernatural News and Parashare right here on the best in paranormal podcasting. It is Darkness Radio. I'm your host, Tim Dennis. Right over there, I got the best in the business co-hosting today. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Miss Mallie Fox. Hi, Mallie.
Hello, hello.
Today, we're going to answer a crucial question, Mallie.
Okay.
One of the greatest mysteries in the universe yet.
Okay.
Sir, is the chicken Big Mac really a Big Mac or just a fancy chicken sandwich?
And what is the verdict?
It's just a fancy chicken sandwich. So there you go. You don't have to listen to any more of the program. We've solved it for you. You don't even have to go try the thing. I mean, it's a decent chicken sandwich. It's not even really the best chicken sandwich you'll ever have.
Oh.
It's just a decent chicken sandwich. You know what's funny is when you order it in the app too, they give you a little survey, and want you to fill out the little survey, and say, is it a Big Mac? Is it a chicken sandwich? I don't want to break their hearts, Mel. It's not like me.
Oh.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So save our money and go to either Cane's or Chick-fil-A?
Or Chick-fil-A, Cane's. Hey, you could even settle for Popeyes.
Gotcha.
Whatever happened to the big furor over the Popeyes chicken sandwich? Remember when everybody was into that?
No, I don't actually, but I am boycotting Popeyes because they suck. At least they do the one that's nearest to me.
Yeah.
Worst service ever. And I've gone a couple times and I've had cold food, or they told me they were out of the food that I wanted. So I don't go there anymore.
I don't blame you. I mean, they're not, they're an acquired taste to me.
Yeah.
I'd rather have KFC than Popeyes. I know I've just committed a huge sin.
Right. But KFC keeps forgetting my mac and cheese.
Yes. They have an issue with that, don't they?
So I have like 3 orders of mac and cheese waiting for me, but I just don't think I'll ever go there. I'll go to Arby's before I go to KFC because that's right next door.
Right. There you go. See. Yeah. We all have our issues with certain places, don't we?
Yeah. It's disappointing.
I know.
Because I love my fast food. I'll go anywhere, but.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know if I go anywhere. I have certain places that people are going to think this is weird. Do you have one place that everybody likes that you tend to not go to?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah. I can tell you what mine is.
Okay, what is yours?
Chipotle.
Oh, see, I like Chipotle.
I've never acquired a taste for it.
Do you like is it Qdoba?
That's another one.
You don't like the...
It's not that I don't like it. It's just that, I could take it or leave it. It's just,
Oh. Yeah. I'm kind of that way with White Castle.
Okay. Was it you and I that or was it Jess and I? These shows go, they tend to just meld one into another with me. Was it Jess that told me she had never had White Castle? I think it was Jess.
Yeah, that was Jess, because I used to go to White Castle when we'd have our events.
Okay, so
Darkness Radio events. So
I told Jess on this show, White Castle tastes like a fart smells.
Yeah, it doesn't smell good.
No. It's horrible. It's something you only need 3 times a year.
Yeah, but at 3-4 o'clock in the morning when you're getting back from an investigation, you'll take what you can get.
That's one time a year.
Yeah.
That you need it. Absolutely need it. The second time a year is when you absolutely have a colon blockage and you need to.
But see, I don't do the hamburgers. I do the chicken sandwiches.
Yes, me too. The chicken.
Okay.
That's what I told you. The chicken sandwiches and the shakes.
Yeah. And their fries. I like their fries.
Yeah, they're all right.
Crinkle fries. I like them.
They're all right. Yeah. The fries are good. So those are really the only edible things on the. I'm glad we're in agreement here, Mal.
Yes. Yes.
The chicken sandwiches, the fries, and the shakes are the only edible things on the menu, right?
Right.
So, but that's about it. But you only go for the burgers, and again, you got to have cheese and
yeah,
if you're going to do the burgers.
No onion.
Yes, no onion. No.
Slimy onions.
And it's not really onion. It's just cabbage dipped in onion.
Gross.
It is. I don't know if people know that, but that's the secret. It's not real onion.
Oh.
And people say, well, no, they are real onion. They're real Vidalia onions or whatever they are.
Uh-huh.
They're not. It's just cabbage dipped in onion juice. Telling you. Um, people are like, now you've lost it, Tim.
Right.
But it's
But if you want to sponsor us, we'll be more than
Yeah.
happy to give rave reviews.
and we did at one time. Actually, they sponsored us quite a few years ago when they had when they first introduced the frozen at home stuff.
Okay.
And the frozen at home stuff was pretty good. I don't know what the difference was.
Huh.
I don't know. Maybe they actually took their time and made them good. I don't know.
Oh, could be. Well, aren't they franchises? So each one is different?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's because they fry over and over again in the same crap at the
Yeah, you can taste it with the fries. Sometimes the oil's a little bit old.
Yeah. And when
Yeah.
you get the at home frozen stuff, it tastes fresher. I don't know what it
Yeah.
is, but
Huh.
the stuff at home is actually not too bad. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what it is. We got a big show today, Mel.
Yes.
We've got some interesting stories here today. A couple of academics have gone back and forth as to whether alien life exists. We'll tell you about that story. The story about King Charles piloting a prototype UFO has come back up again,
Okay.
only with more details this time. We'll talk about that. Elon Musk was out this week talking about self-driving robotic taxis with no steering wheels, which, believe it or not, is not a new thing because Google's been doing it for a while and successfully.
Mm.
Although he claims his version will be much, much better. It's just we may have to wait a while. We'll have that coming up in the AI segment. Some unusual paranormal abuse case in Spain has come out involving a medium. We'll talk about that today. That's on the table. Al Pacino has had his own near-death experience. We'll talk about that. That's coming up as well. And we'll talk about a real lost tomb having to do with Indiana Jones to wrap things up today. So that's how we'll end the program here on Supernatural News. But to start things out today, Mal, we'll talk about a couple of members of academia who have teased the announcement about the discovery of alien life.
Okay.
All right. It turns out that two groups of rival astronomers are allegedly vying to publish confirmed evidence of an intelligent alien civilization. Various news outlets this week have picked up on the story that British academic professor Simon Holland is claiming that an announcement about intelligent alien life is imminent. Holland, who has previously produced documentaries for NASA-funded projects, claims to have received a tip-off from an insider with the Breakthrough Listen project, an alternative to SETI that aims to scour the cosmos for signs of extraterrestrial communications. We have found a non-human extraterrestrial intelligence in our galaxy, and people don't know about it, Holland told the Mirror. They found the evidence of a non-human technological signature a few years ago using the Parkes telescope in Australia. Holland maintains that a second group of astronomers in China have also discovered the same evidence and that there's now some sort of race behind the scenes to publish that information. This is breaking news as of yesterday, but the Chinese may be pipping them to the post with their FAST, or 500-meter aperture spherical telescope program, he said. It's the largest telescope in the world since Arecibo. The target object is reportedly something known as BLC-1, although it is unclear what it actually is. The signal, instead of being the giant buzz of everything in the universe that we hear through all the radio telescopes, was a narrow electromagnetic spectrum, he said. According to Holland, the discovery could be revealed within the next few weeks. But could all this be a little too good to be true? Well, it's possible that while BLC-1 is indeed a genuine find, someone has perhaps overstated its significance or has jumped the gun with regard to whether or not it is of intelligent extraterrestrial origin. Whatever the case, it will be interesting to see if such a discovery does get announced in the coming weeks. So if we had to put Vegas odds on it here, Mallie, two academic professors say, well, we think we might have found it through two different telescopes. but how soon before it's shot down by one government or the other? If you had to lay Vegas odds on it, what do you say odds are that this even sees the light of day?
Oh, I say slim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You give it, what, 5 to 1, 10 to 1 odds that it even sees the light of day?
I give it 10 to 1. I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, I don't see it either. A lot of times we hear promising stuff when it comes to
Mm-hmm.
things like this, but I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we see anything promising about an actual sighting, especially through some high power telescope like that.
Mm-hmm.
Our next story has to do with rumors emerging of a secretive Pentagon UFO data retrieval program. Now, this one I always put my skeptical eye to because,
Uh-huh.
yeah. It's known as the Immaculate Constellation. The program is so secret that the Pentagon won't acknowledge that it exists. With all the openness and talk of transparency with regard to the U.S. government's approach to UAPs in recent years, you would think that there wouldn't be any secretive, undisclosed programs left that we don't know about in some capacity. Now, however, rumors based on alleged whistleblower leaks have emerged regarding something called Immaculate Constellation, which is a highly secretive Pentagon program established in 2017 after 3 U.S. Navy videos of UAPs off the coast of the United States were leaked. According to the whistleblower, this program's purpose is to collect high quality photographs, videos, witness testimonies, and other evidence pertaining to the phenomenon. It is also allegedly classed as above top secret, making it about as secretive as it gets. But does Immaculate Constellation even actually exist, or could the claim itself be a hoax? By law, any SAPs or special access programs must be disclosed to the chairs and ranking members of the House and Senate Intelligence Committees, among others. According to the source, however, this particular program falls even above their pay grades. The executive branch has been managing UAP and NHI issues without congressional knowledge, oversight, or authorization for quite some time, quite possibly decades, they wrote. So it seems that Pentagon officials either don't know about the program or want to keep it secret. That is, at least if it even exists at all. The Department of Defense has no record, present or historical, of any type of SAP or special access program called Immaculate Constellation, a Pentagon spokesperson said on Tuesday. So, real program or hyperbole, Mallie?
Uh, the latter.
Hyperbole?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like they keep saying it and nothing ever comes of it.
yeah,
So,
I think it might be a little wishful thinking. I think it's one of those
yeah.
rumors in the Beltway that you hear about, but never quite comes true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know that this is actually a thing. I think it's wishful thinking. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. It might be one of those rumors that got started but isn't quite complete.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we mentioned it at the top of the program. King Charles once piloted a prototype UFO in Canada, according to a diver. This story actually still has legs from a couple of years ago. This is an unusual story covered by a new documentary about the British royal family's connection to the phenomenon.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we reported it a couple of years ago because it had come out, I believe, in a book.
Okay.
There was a book that featured this, and I think there was also another film that featured this story. Did King Charles once pilot a UFO? It may sound bizarre, but according to Mark Christopher Lee, director of new documentary The King of UFOs, the story does actually have some merit. The original claim comes courtesy of Canadian diver Dan Costello, who maintained that he had seen Charles, who was then Prince of Wales at the time, controlling a strange disc-shaped craft of some kind along with 2 other pilots at Sandy Point in Nova Scotia. The object, which was clearly some sort of prototype, was described as UFO-esque. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And was said to have produced a bluish ionic flame, which left the ground singed underneath it. Charles had reportedly been invited to pilot the vehicle, which was part of something called Project Serpico, while serving in the Royal Navy as a helicopter pilot. The craft had dual rotor blades like a helicopter, but it would also just sit and hover in the sky with the blades not on and with no sound of propulsion, just a faint crackle of electromagnetism, said Costello. I don't think it was extraterrestrial, but might be technology developed by Nikola Tesla, who had a facility here, and now this was being used by the US, Canadian, and British military. The documentary's director, Mark Christopher Lee, claims that he has found evidence to support this. What if what we are all seeing in the sky and thinking are extraterrestrial spacecraft are actually just a secret, highly advanced earthbound technology, he said. What if Prince Charles was involved in this project? Does King Charles know the truth about UFOs? If so, should he release the truth to the public? We deserve to know, is the quote from this director. As things stand, however, there is no concrete evidence to suggest that any of these events took place. By the way, you can stream The King of UFOs right now on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
The way I had heard this story the first time, when King Charles was flying this particular craft, he was doing it because he was under duress, and that he was doing it to save somebody's life. I don't know.
I could see Prince William flying a prototype before I see King Charles, because Prince William had experience with helicopters and things like that, but I don't see King Charles piloting a
I definitely could.
UFO-ish.
They all undergo extensive military training, so I could see King Charles doing this when he was a younger man.
But I thought he was more on the ships than flying.
Oh no. He's got.
He flew as well.
Yep, he's got some.
Okay.
Yep, absolutely. So I could definitely see it happening. And you're right, Mallie. He does have naval experience as well. But yeah, I think, his father, King Charles's father, Prince Philip, was highly into the UFO phenomena. So I want to say it's just, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. And I think there may be a little bit of merit to the story, but I don't know. To me, if you don't have photographic evidence or if you don't have video evidence, it's hard to say. So our next story involves, again, another picture of something on the surface of Mars that could be taken one way or another. There's a weird skull-like face that was photographed by a rover on the surface of Mars. Pareidolia? We'll find out. NASA recently featured a photograph which shows a strange face-like formation on its website. It may not be quite as iconic as the face on Mars photographed over the Cydonia region of Mars by NASA's Viking orbiters back in the 1970s, but this modern-day equivalent, which has spotted by the Perseverance rover recently, has been raising eyebrows this past week. Featured as NASA's official image of the week, the photo was taken back on September 27th. On the left-hand side of the frame, it is possible to see a skull-like human face, complete with large empty eye sockets, a nose and a mouth, lying sideways in the dust. I'll tell you what, Mallie, I'll turn this around and I'll see if you can see what they see. And I will not point out where it is, and see if you can point it out.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're talking about, but I think it's pareidolia.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
What do you think?
I think it is too. I think it's pareidolia. But again, it's interesting things form in the dust up there and on Mars. That's for sure. It actually looks a little bit like Boney, a talking skull from the obscure 1980s British children's show Trapdoor. It says to let them know in the comments of this article whether you get the reference or not. I don't, because I never watched
I don't either.
television. In reality, the face is likely to be a little more than pareidolia, the tendency for the human brain to perceive meaningful shapes and abstract patterns. It says here, we've certainly seen plenty of examples of this on Mars over the years, ranging from faces and skulls to giant crabs and even the outline of Beaker from the Muppets. Now, that'd be something if Beaker were up on Mars.
Oh, I love Beaker.
I do too. With its barren landscape strewn with randomly shaped boulders, rocky outcrops, and other geological features, it's perhaps not surprising that Mars has proven to be a prime location for this phenomenon. I tell you what, we'll post this in the description of this program, and we'll let you judge for yourself. And finally, in this segment, overlooked F-type stars could support habitable extrasolar worlds. A few studies have highlighted the potential for finding habitable extrasolar worlds around F-type stars. When it comes to seeking out other planets suitable for life, astronomers tend to focus on rocky terrestrial worlds situated in their star's habitable or Goldilocks zone, the narrow region in which the temperature is just right for liquid water to exist on a planet's surface. A major factor in identifying such a zone in a distant solar system is the type of star it has. Our own sun, for example, is a G-type star. Yeah, it's gangster. But this is not the only type capable of supporting life. In a new study published by the Astrophysical Journal, scientists focused on studying an F-type star. I'm going to tell you what type of star that is. Which are yellowish white in color, as well as larger and slightly hotter than a G-type star. Nothing's hotter than a G-type star. I'm just saying. While they have a smaller lifespan than a G-type star, the habitable zone tends to be larger. In the study, the researchers looked at 206 types of F-type stars with planetary systems and were able to identify 18 in which the planets were thought to pass through their star's habitable zone. F-type stars are usually considered the high luminosity end of stars with a serious prospect for allowing an environment for planets favorable for life, the study's authors wrote. Although F-type stars have a shorter lifetime than our sun, they have a wider habitable zone. In short, F-type stars are not hopeless in the context of astrobiology. The researchers even identified one planet, HD 111998. Try not to commit that to memory, you'll hurt yourself. Which remains in its star's habitable zone on a permanent basis. Although it is a Jupiter-type planet that is unlikely to be able to support life itself, it is thought to have several moons which could potentially harbor habitable environments. Actually getting there to find out, however, would be a bit of a challenge because the distant extrasolar world is situated a rather insurmountable 108 light years from the Earth. Take a little extra time to get there.
Yeah.
It may take you.
Unless they froze our bodies. We're not making it alive.
Right. It may take you a minute or two to get there. I tell you what, we're going to take our break right here. When we come back, Mal, of course, we've got a little bit of nightmare fuel for you. Just a little, not much. In fact, if I remember right, I think we only have one or two stories today.
Ooh.
There you go. Yeah, we went a little light on the nightmare fuel today. So it's my way of saying you're welcome.
Thank you.
Al Pacino had a near-death experience. We'll talk about that today. There's another underwater anomaly out there at Loch Ness.
Okay. Boy, that place has been in the news for like the past month.
Yeah, it has. There's been a lot of activity out at Loch Ness. We'll talk about that. We'll end today's supernatural news by talking about a lost tomb while filming one of the Indiana Jones movies.
Okay.
So there really was some Indiana Jones type activities while filming Indiana Jones. Kind of an interesting story. So we'll talk about that on today's Supernatural News program. By the way, we're taking your Parashare stories, folks. There's different ways of doing it. You can either, one, email me at tim@darknessradio.com and type it out the old-fashioned way in an email. Two, go to darknessradioshow.com. There's a little blue button right there on the right-hand side of the website. You just click on that blue button. You can leave a 2-minute voice note for us, and we'll air your lovely voice right here on the show. If you need more time, click on that blue button twice, and I'll take and stitch your stories together, part 2, speak, and we'll air it right here on the show. The third way is if you have a lovely studio like this one, you just put together your voice, your sound effects, your music, make your own theater of the mind. I'll take and screen it, so I make sure that it's, it sounds good, that you're not putting together a bunch of hodgepodge and nonsense, and then we'll air it right here on the program. And you can make your own theater of the mind. That's the third way of doing it. So there you go. That's how you can share your Parashare with us here on the program. When we come back, much more supernatural news right here on a Supernatural News Wednesday on the best in paranormal podcasting with Tim Dennis and Mallie Fox. It's Darkness Radio. Welcome back to the best in paranormal podcasting. This is Darkness Radio on a Wednesday, Supernatural News Wednesday with Tim Dennis and Mallie Fox. Mallie, it's been chilly the last couple of days.
I'm liking it.
I do too. The only problem is I'm finding my chippers don't like it. Yeah. We're getting close though. We're getting close to the time where they go Betty bye. They go into torpor for the year. I'm finding they're a little spoiled. They've been holed up in the garage for the last couple of days since it's been chilly. You may ask how I know they're spoiled. They're requiring, let's just say, not waiter service, but they're requiring little dishes to be brought out to the garage so that they can come get their nuts. And something unusual, Mallie. I swear I had a DoorDash guy come up the other day with fresh nuts. And I didn't.
Maybe.
I didn't order them.
Oh.
It wasn't me.
Oh, so like a listener ordered them for you?
No, it wasn't a listener.
Oh.
I think one of them got a credit card.
Stop.
I don't know. I didn't say who ordered it, but
right.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Strange.
Yeah.
When you order, 5 pounds of almonds out of the blue.
Right.
I would never order 5 pounds of almonds. That's way too many. But boy, they're living up at high on the hog. Just nice warm garage, and who knows? I think they're getting a little too spoiled. Or you know what? They're going to be ordering champagne.
Yeah.
Champagne and almonds and groupies. They'll probably have groupies. Before I know it, I'm going to have like a little ditty party going on in my garage.
Wait, a what party?
Ditty party.
Diddy?
Yeah, ditty party. Garage. I have to kick them all out. I have to call the sheriff. Yeah, that's crazy. Anyways, the good times are rolling in the garage, and oh no. See, when I said good times, and the minute I say good times, an AI comes in, and you can't have good times with AI. Although a ditty party really isn't a good time, is it? No. Not unless you
have that baby oil.
Oh. That's the other thing that probably will end up coming in next week or so with the chippers, the baby oil. When I see that, they're out of the garage.
Right.
Sure. Yeah.
Time to vacate.
That's right. Time to sell the house. Saying. Well, Mallie, Elon Musk had big news this week. He unveiled a self-driving robotic taxi with no steering wheel. There's only one problem. It's been done before.
Yeah. I don't trust those.
Would you get in a taxi that had no driver?
No, I've seen too many videos where where remember when like it was traffic was being directed by the cop and the car didn't know what to do?
Oh yeah.
And the people are in the back seat like, it just Nope, no thank you.
Well, the new vehicle is part of Tesla's effort to shift its focus towards robots and AI-based products. Revealed at an event at the Warner Brothers film lot in Burbank, California this week, the taxi named Cybercab, because we all know the Cybertruck worked real well, is entirely autonomous and doesn't have any manual steering controls at all.
That's just asking for trouble.
So you're in the back of this thing, and you say, well, we're headed to PetSmart because we're going to go get more nuts for the chippers, right? And you can't take it over if the thing's heading for a brick wall.
Yeah.
What do? Do you just jump out?
It probably locks you in for safety measures, so you can't even jump out.
God. Its design is certainly futuristic, resembling a modern-day version of the DeLorean with a stainless steel exterior and gull-wing doors, as well as the ability to recharge wirelessly. Designed to carry 2 passengers, the vehicle will enter production within the next 3 years and will form part of Elon Musk's ongoing efforts to turn around the company's fortunes by focusing more on AI and robotics than standard electric cars. Musk himself maintains that autonomous vehicles have the potential to be up to 20 times safer than human-driven cars, as well as being far more effective and cost-effective in terms of cost per mile. Elon said, "This is a very big deal. It'll save lives, a lot of lives, and prevent injuries."
Yeah, but think about those idiots that were doing the self-driving and they're sleeping while the car's driving and then they still crash.
Right.
There's always an exception. No, thank you.
Tesla has always needed the human control.
Yeah.
Even in Teslas now, with self-driving features, it's always needed human control.
Mm-hmm.
In order for something like this to prevent injuries, however, its autonomous systems are going to need to be perfect. Otherwise, placing your life in the hands of a robot driver will be anything but safe. Because the Cybercab is entirely autonomous, it will need special regulatory approval in order to drive on public roads, a hurdle that will likely be quite challenging to overcome. Tesla is also hoping to bring its autonomous robot Optimus to market in the next few years, which will reportedly cost somewhere between $20,000 and $30,000. Do you feel any safer if you put Optimus in the front seat?
No. Do you think it'll slow down for squirrels, or is it just going to run them over?
I think it's evil. It'll run them over.
Ugh.
By the way, I was telling you right before the show that it's National Squirrel Month.
Yes.
Yeah. Does that make you speed up or slow down when you see one?
I slow down, and then I yell at it to move.
I do too. Yeah.
I'm not going to run it over.
No, I don't.
Nope.
Not even Arnold. I mean, by the way, did I tell you Arnold's gotten twice as big as the last time we saw him?
No.
He's as big as a deer now.
Oh. Little chunker.
Yeah, I'm not talking like a full-blown male deer. I'm not talking like a small doe. He's like the size of a small doe. He's huge. I don't know what to do with him anymore. Thinking about putting a saddle on him and riding him into town. I mean, really, just to scare my enemies.
Yeah.
I mean, just be like, yeehaw, put a little cowboy hat on and a lasso. I can't wear any 6-shooters into town. They'll take me down. But, can have a lasso and a cowboy hat.
Yeah. And the pantsless chaps.
All of them are pantsless. That's the key. By the way, you can get them at Fleet Farm. Because if you can't get it at the Fleet, it ain't worth it. That's right. At the event, by the way, the firm also unveiled another autonomous vehicle called RoboVan for all you soccer moms out there who don't want to put your kids in the back of it, send them to soccer practice, and they'll die in a fiery crash.
Jeez.
The RoboVan is a 20-passenger train-like vehicle designed to transport groups of people from one place to another. Not safely, but just to do it. Saying. I don't know how I feel about the RoboVan either.
Nope.
By the way, I had mentioned before when I talked about reading this story, I saw a feature on the news that this has already been done. The cab is nothing new. Google has been doing it successfully for the last couple of years.
Right.
And there's no problem with the autonomous feature. They've had no crashes. They've had no issues. It seems like Tesla is the only one who has the issue with the autonomous feature. So why is it the autonomous feature is, and the issues with it are only a Tesla thing? How is it that Google has no problems with their autonomous feature? I don't get it.
Sabotage.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
Someone's out to get Elon?
Yep.
Could be. But I find it curious that he's the only one who has the issue.
Right.
Oh, there you go. Okay. And finally, our final story. Look at Mallie. I'm going easy on you today.
Thank you.
There you go. The other thing you don't want Tesla to take over is sex robots. Lord knows what they would fail at. Sex robots will take over our homes next year as rich people only want one thing. That's the headline, Mal.
Okay.
In case you think it's going to be the guys who are the ones who are ordering the robots, think again.
Really?
Yeah. Sex robots could start satisfying affluent women's sexual needs as early as next year. That's right, ladies. It's not the guys ordering these things. Futurologist Dr. Ian Pearson predicted in his bold forecast that suggests that AI will become commonplace in the bedroom. Wealthy hornbags, that's what it says in the article, that's not me.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Could spice things up in the bedroom with robots from as early as next year, it's been suggested. Futurologist Dr. Ian Pearson has predicted human-to-robot sex will be commonplace by 2030.
Well, the robot will probably last longer.
Let's hope so. Boy, if you wear out the gears on that thing, you got an issue. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
With this wave of cyborg sex beginning with the women-pleasing sex bots expected to start popping up in affluent households next year.
Yeah, but there's something, though, about human touch. I would rather have, my husband than a robot.
The first robot maker that comes up with the tongue that doesn't wear out is the one that's going to make $1 billion.
Okay.
Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think? I'm just speculating. In his report, The Rise of the Robosexuals, by the way, that's the name of the next Terminator movie, too.
Robosexual?
Rise of the Robosexuals. You watch. It's not going to be rated. It's going to be rated. What's the one that's under X? It's not PG-13. What's the one above that, Mallie? The one that's under
R?
No, the one that's under R.
Oh, there's something 14, isn't there? Like a
PG-13? No.
Yeah,
It's above PG-13.
Oh.
What's the other one? It's the one that they may always make me show my ID and I say, "Are you kidding? Look at me. I've led a hard enough life."
There's more than just PG-13 and rated R?
Yeah, isn't there another one?
Well, let's Google it.
Okay, you Google it. I'll read.
Okay, yes.
In his report, The Rise of the Robosexuals, Pearson predicts women will ditch men for robot lovers and that they could even fall in love with them. I find that hard to believe. Women would fall in love with robots?
No.
I don't think so. While this futuristic vision may seem far-fetched, the acceptance of sex toys and sex dolls, coupled with a growing sexual aid market, which welcomes AI developments, could see Pearson's forecast come true, reports News 18. Whoever News 18 is. The futurologist believes as a society, we are not that far away from his vision, highlighting the relaxation of social norms around sex, which has seen sex toys become mainstream conversation topics. Pearson suggests that soon women engaging in robot sex will be like watching pornography. He also reckons that robot sex will become more commonplace than normal sex by 2050.
Mm.
Really? Yeah, I can't buy it. A lot of people will still have did you find it?
Yeah, but for movies, it's rated G, PG, PG-13, and rated R. But then for TV, you have TV Young, which is all children, TV Y7, which is older children, TV Y7 FV, then TV G, TV PG, TV 14, and TV A or TV MA for mature audience only.
I
But
thought
that's all that I can find.
there was one between R and isn't there one between R and X?
The
I guess not. Okay, maybe I'm dreaming. A lot of people will still have reservations about sex with robots at first, but gradually as they get used to them, what if you get stuck in a gear? I mean, come on. You're never going to do that. They'll have reservations about sex with robots at first, but gradually as they get used to them, as the AI or artificial intelligence and mechanical behaviors and their feel improves, yeah, and they start to become friends with strong emotional bonds, that squeamishness will gradually evaporate, Pearson wrote in his report, commissioned by internet sex shop Bondora. You big fan of the Bondora?
I don't even know what
Shop
that
there
is.
often?
Nope.
Big sex shop, I guess.
Oh, I don't even know what it is.
I have no idea. I don't even know how to get there. He also outlined in his report that by 2035, there will be sex toys that can be used in virtual sex, saying, as well as toys and apps will also get direct nervous system links, dream linking, and even body sharing. Okay, this just sounds creepy. All of it.
Mm-hmm.
Every single bit of it. You'll be able to link your dream sex to other people, feel their sensations as well as your own, and directly stimulate orgasms by the touch of an icon, or even send someone an orgasm over messages.
Nope, don't like that.
What happened to flowers?
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
He added that the advent of sex robots should be seen as a good thing rather than negative. He
That's
said,
because this guy can't get a girlfriend.
exactly. He's been stuck in a lab for too long.
Yeah.
He said sex robots will make the emotional barriers even lower, take away remaining guilt, improve mental health, and people will get even more from their lives. I think this just separates human beings from one another.
Yeah, I think it does too.
Yeah. Creepy, creepy. Creepy, creepy, creepy. All right, that ends the whole AI portion of our program. We just ended it on an ick factor. Speaking of ick factor,
Mm-hmm.
there's an unusual paranormal abuse case in Spain involving a psychic medium.
Okay.
The victim's ex-boyfriend had reportedly faked paranormal activity and even hired a medium to scare her. Weird. In an unusual case out of Valencia, Spain this week, police have been investigating claims that a woman's former partner had resorted to what has been described as paranormal abuse. According to reports, a 41-year-old woman had been suffering at the hands of her ex-partner, who went as far as to hire a psychic medium solely to frighten her. In one incident, she witnessed a painting in her house levitating in the air above a table before falling back down, while in another, she heard distinct footsteps behind the wall, and her ex-partner rather had claimed that he had experienced some sort of vision of her recently deceased father. She was told that her father's ghost had warned that if she left her partner, she would die.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. The alleged phenomena also included objects being moved and a glass bust bursting into pieces. The woman even returned home one day to find her house had been ransacked. The case is quite unusual, as it is not at all common to hear of someone using faked paranormal activity in order to harass and intimidate someone, especially not in this context. Fortunately for the woman, however, her ordeal came to an end when her ex-partner was arrested by the police for domestic violence, and a restraining order was taken out forbidding him from going near her. I wonder how common this actually is.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
I bet you it's more common than we think.
probably. I mean, it it doesn't surprise me that someone who's an abuser would go to this length in order to try and keep someone under their thumb, right?
Yeah.
But it's so devious to want to prey on someone's belief in the paranormal to actually go to this extent.
And shame on that psychic or medium,
right,
for being involved with this as well.
Right. And to actually, whether willingly or unwilling, right?
Right.
Whether they're in cahoots with this partner or whether they play along because they want this person to come back and spend more money with them. I mean,
Or they're truly not a psychic or a medium. And so they're just ripping off the poor lady, because if they truly were, I would think that they would warn her.
Right. Right. It's all the way around ick. It just is.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, and it not only creates distrust with just this woman, but then you read a story like this and then you begin to wonder, okay, so who's safe to put your trust in, really?
Right.
You go to someone, you know, when it comes to a psychic or medium and you want to place your trust in that person. And, you know, as far as you want to talk out, I mean, really, if you want to talk out issues having to do with life and death, maybe you should do it with a therapist, but first and foremost. But if you want to get in contact with someone on the other side, who's trustworthy and who's not, right?
Yeah. And I don't think my parent would ever come back from the dead saying, you need to stay with him or you're going to die.
Right. That's a big red flag right there.
Right.
Big red flag. But do you have a belief that your parent would come back and say, not that you're going to die, but that they'd say, well, you really should stay with that person? Do you think your parents would ever tell you that?
No. If they would say anything, they would be like, you need to leave that person. my parents have hired not private investigators, but they've done background searches on several men that I've dated, because I don't choose the right ones very well.
I would tend to be more trusting, or would think a psychic would be more trustworthy if they were to come forward and tell me, well, your parents are here now and they're telling me they'd rather see you happy. Are you truly happy with the person you're with right now? Do you have more sad moments than happy moments with this person? Finding yourself crying more than you are laughing with this person. I would tend to think that a psychic would go into a more conciliatory mood or more of a therapist mode with the person at that particular time than they would saying, well, if you don't stay with this person, you're going to die. It sounds like they're in lockstep with the abuser.
Yeah.
Like maybe they've been paid off or they're getting a percentage.
Right.
You know, to me, it just sounds like they're in cahoots. Yeah, it's just a disturbing story all the way around. Interesting story in our next story here, Mallie. Al Pacino offered a stark reflection on his own near-death experience. The legendary actor had a close brush with death after he contracted COVID back during the pandemic. In a recent pair of interviews with the New York Times and People magazine, the Scarface actor, who's now 84 years old. You realize he's that old?
Oh, yeah. No, I saw an interview or a picture of him not too long ago. He's looking rough.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah.
Recalled almost dying back in 2020 after he became severely ill with coronavirus. He remembered suffering from a fever and dehydration before passing out. He said, I was sitting there in my house and I was gone like that. I didn't have a pulse, he recalled. When he finally came around and he found himself in his own living room, surrounded by 6 paramedics and 2 doctors who had managed to revive him. They had these outfits on that looked like they were from outer space or something, he said. It's kind of shocking to open your eyes and see that. Everybody was around me and they said, he's back, he's here. Pacino then went on to describe what happened during the time that he was unconscious. I thought I experienced death. I might not have. I don't think I died. Everybody thought I was dead. How could I be dead? If I was dead, I fainted, he said. He added that he hadn't seen a white light or anything similar and that there's nothing there. It was no more. You're gone. I never thought about it in my life, he said. But you know, actors, it sounds good to say I died once. What is it when there's no more? Is the question he asked. I don't think he died.
He just had a low pulse.
Yes, I think he had a low pulse. There's such a thing too, you know, just speaking from experience. They were losing me when I had sepsis, but I don't think I fully died. Again,
Right.
I don't think I got to that point where you reach that gateway, you know, you get to a state where you're almost there, where you're on the precipice.
Yeah.
You don't go to the tunnel. You don't go to the light. You're not in the tunnel,
Right.
but you're starting to fade, right? I was at that point where I was starting to fade, but I don't think I died. I didn't have that near-death experience. I was close. I was knocking on the door, but I wasn't there. I can't say I had a near-death experience. I was close to death, but I wasn't there. So I can't say there's nothing there because I didn't experience it. You know, I can't attest to it like John Tenney. Oh, that John Tenney truly had a negative near-death experience where he crossed over and he said there was nothing and he could feel like he was a part of everything and there was nothing. That's a truly horrifying experience.
Yeah, it is.
You know, that's truly hell on earth. But that's not what Al Pacino is describing. He just said there's nothing. In other words, he passed out. Well, we've all been there. We've all passed out at one time or another.
Right.
I shouldn't say we all have, but there's a lot of us who have passed out. And if you're dehydrated, of course you pass out. I mean, that's obvious. So there you go. A couple of dream stories here. One of them is kind of encouraging, Mallie. And,
Okay.
but these are stories about staying in contact with people, one dead, one alive. So I'll ask you this question, then we'll get into the stories here, Mallie. Have you ever wished, even with your husband, like let's say you're away somewhere, that you could fall asleep and get in contact with him while you were sleeping?
Not really, because if I'm getting some sleep and he's not around, I'm getting some solid sleep. I'm not contacting anyone.
Well,
I've got the bed to myself.
Let's say like when you were dating. It was when it was a more romantic scenario. Okay.
Yeah.
When you actually cared a lot about him. No, I'm kidding. But did you ever imagine or think, well, maybe if I could just reach out and see him in my dream or reach out and talk to him in my dream, would that ever have been a scenario that would have interested you?
To be honest, I don't think I've ever thought about it.
No?
I don't think I've ever thought about it.
Huh. Interesting story coming up. Not this story, but the next story, because scientists might have found a way to contact somebody living in your dream.
Okay. I mean, I've tried dead, like my deceased grandparents. You know, I wish that they would have contacted me in my dreams, but
that's what this story is about.
Okay. But not the living.
Right. But there's both living and dead in the next couple of stories here.
Okay.
First one has to do with a lucid dreamer who used it to stay in contact with her dead grandfather. Pretty interesting story here. Lisa, it's not Lisa Ann, but Lisanne Valentine had just moved houses in New York and was feeling stressed when she met her dead grandfather in a dream for the first time. Valentine, who is 40 or was 40 at the time, is an actor and writer who had been a lucid dreamer, someone aware they're dreaming and can sometimes control what is happening her whole life. Practicing lucid dreaming has been central to spiritual practices such as Tibetan Buddhism, and the meeting with her grandfather started a spiritual awakening for Valentine. Valentine said she was feeling conflicted over her decision to live in a new area 4 years ago, when her grandfather appeared to her. She said When he came to me in the dream, he showed me the potential outcome of my decision to stay in the area. And everything looked positive at that point. The images appeared as symbols, and I relied on my feelings to interpret them. And we had a conversation or conversations, plural, where I could hear him speak, but I couldn't see his mouth move. It almost felt like telepathy. She said that her grandfather appeared to her repeatedly in dreams and showed her different dream symbols to communicate with her. He showed her flowers, which Valentine took as an indication to stay the course of her decision to move and to explore her Puerto Rican heritage. She said, dream meaning has always been very big in my family, and everyone went to my grandfather. We called him Pepito, or Papito, rather, to help him or help them determine the meaning. I learned a lot from him. If my grandfather presents flowers to me in a dream and the feeling I have around it is full of love and joy, then my association with receiving flowers as a gift is a beautiful symbol. I know something wonderful will happen based on what the symbol means to me and how I feel in the dream. Additionally, I write the dream right away upon awakening uh, because in that state of presence, I will be able to honestly determine what the dream means to me. Since my grandfather's passing, I lean on that inner knowing. Other symbols are more ominous. She said, on the other hand, if someone is about to pass away, I receive different symbols that indicate when it might happen. This can be depressing, but it has helped my family be with loved ones before they passed. He helped me support my family when another family member was about to cross over. The dream about an imminent passing had cues that went beyond the dream. In this dream with my grandfather, he was in the kitchen cooking and the food was ash. Okay, that's creepy.
Mm-hmm.
He then put his thumb on my forehead and turned away. I had an ominous feeling. When I woke, as I wrote the dream down, I realized Ash Wednesday was a few days away. I looked at my phone and got a notification that my great aunt had just entered hospice. And in that moment, I knew she would be transitioning on Ash Wednesday. Lucid dreams have been extensively studied by scientists, with one 2017 University of Adelaide study suggesting that techniques such as regularly checking if you are dreaming and waking after 5 hours can help to induce lucid dreams. The scientists found a 17% success rate in inducing lucid dreams among a volunteer group. Valentine says she had been having lucid dreams since she was 8 years old, and prior to her grandfather's death had a dream which was a premonition. She said, I once dreamt I was giving a speech on a stage. I became aware that I was on stage wearing black. The place was beautiful, but it felt sad to me. I didn't like it. A year later, as I gave my grandfather's eulogy, I had deja vu on that stage. It was the moment in my dream. Her dream experience persuaded her to explore her Puerto Rican heritage. She says her grandfather was a curandero or shaman.
Hmm.
She said Puerto Rican culture is a blend of European, African, and indigenous Taino influences. Many of our traditions were blended and hidden over time, yet the practices endured. Every Saturday at my family's house, I learned from my mother, grandfather, his mother, and his grandmother, all of whom were curanderos or curanderas. She says, my dream meeting with my grandfather gave me more confidence to embrace the opportunities that were manifesting in my life because the overall trajectory felt positive. While I couldn't foresee every detail of what happened, I knew with certainty that moving forward with was the right decision for me, and it had proven to be so. It even led me to become a spiritual coach, which I hadn't considered before. She has since had other dreams where she had been contacted by the dead, including one where she was in an otherworldly oasis where she heard a familiar voice of a friend's mother who had passed away. She said, I heard her voice clearly as she gently reassured me that she was happy, just resting. Later relayed that message to her family. In another dream, she said she met a taxi driver who she believes might have been God.
No.
God's driving taxi, evidently, on the other side. Valentine says that her key to lucid dreaming is to not force anything and to have no expectations about what will happen. She advises not drinking alcohol and practicing mindful activities such as meditating during the day. She says, I've been lucid dreaming since I was little. It comes naturally to me, but other people have had to train this skill set, she said. To practice lucid dreaming, try this. Place a glass of water beside your bed. Before falling asleep, look at the glass and decide that you will encounter it in your dream. Once asleep, observe whether the glass appears in your dream. If it does, drink the water and note the sensation. This exercise can help you realize that you can manipulate your dream environment, bringing you closer to regular lucid dreaming. Remember, mastering this skill takes time and patience. I try this at least 3 times. Valentine says that people she speaks to often fear that they might not return from lucid dreams, and it's key to conquer this fear. To enter the lucid dream state. She said, decide that you will always return. People often fear that they'll disappear and never come back. They worry that they'll get lost in the dream state and be unable to return to their body. This isn't true. She says that your goal in lucid dreaming is to become an observer. She says you can have prophetic dreams, astral travel dreams, or full-on OBEs or out-of-body experiences. The more mindful you are in waking life, the more present you are in this reality, the more prime your dream life to create lucid experiences that will support your day-to-day experiences. Interesting article.
Mm-hmm.
So with that in mind, Mel,
Mm-hmm.
would you try that? Would you try the water on the side of the bed?
I guess I would.
Yeah. See if you can produce more lucid dreams and see if maybe you could contact somebody on the other side.
Yeah, but then a part of me is like, it's like I want to contact my grandparents, but do I want to contact anybody else? I don't know.
Do you think
So
it would spiral out of hand for you?
I think that I might be opening up something that I don't want to open with the stuff that goes on in my house. I just don't want to.
That's
I
fair.
don't know.
You're right. Once you kind of open that Pandora's box, there's no, I mean, you open it, right? I mean,
Right. Right.
you're open to whoever comes through, you know.
Yeah.
But in that same respect, you may be helping somebody who needs that help.
Yeah. I don't know. What about you? Would you try it?
Yeah, I might be open to trying it. Sure. I may do it tonight just to see what
Mm.
happens. I always keep something next to my bedside because I take a water pill for my heart.
Uh.
So I always wake up with a dry mouth. So
Mm-hmm.
I might try that. Yeah. I always have something anyways. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think I will just to see if I can, just to see if I
Mm-hmm.
can get that started. Be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely interesting. So our next story has to do with an experiment, scientific experiment, to see if 2 people can communicate via dreams in the world first.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This has always fascinated me. And I've tried this before
Uh-huh.
to see if I can reach across the country
Uh-huh.
to contact somebody in their dream.
Okay.
And I think I've done it.
All right.
I've tried it with different friends
Okay.
just to see if, hey, did you have kind of a weird dream last night?
Uh-huh.
Or did, you feel like you heard from me other than just by text, right?
Right.
Or do you feel, have I been on your mind lately? Then they go, you're a weirdo. Uh,
Exactly.
right.
Someone has an ego.
You're right. Yeah.
Have you been thinking about me?
Somebody thinks highly of themselves.
Yep.
But sometimes if you put the intention forward before
Mm-hmm.
you go to sleep, like I'm going to lay down tonight, I'm going to go to sleep, but I'm also going to try to reach out and try to touch that person and touch their
Mm-hmm.
psyche while they're sleeping. Not necessarily. And the way you do it is you imagine yourself traveling to their bedside and standing beside their bedside
But it almost sounds like you're doing an out of body experience.
or astral traveling,
Yes. Thank
right?
you. Mm-hmm.
But just enough to, and then imagine maybe leaving a note by their bedside and placing it like on their forehead
Okay.
so that they get a message, right? But
Okay.
you're placing a message into their head, just saying, I was here, or hello, I was here.
Mm-hmm.
I'll return the favor, right? Just something to kind of pass messages back and forth. The other thing you can do is imagine that you're going to meet in that astral plane, right? So that when they go to sleep, they're going to travel up and meet you in that same place. Sometimes you can arrange this. If you can find a friend that's open to it, see if they can meet you in that plane. Just say, hey, tonight, I want to try and meet you in a plane that's not here, like in a dream plane. Just say, I want to meet you in a dreamscape, right?
Okay.
And it seems weird, but just say, tonight when you go to sleep, meet me in your dreams.
Okay.
When you fall asleep, see if you can see me in your dreams tonight. See if it works. Just see if you can have a dream about me. And it doesn't have to be weird or sexual or
Right.
that. Just see if you can meet me in your dreams. You'd be surprised. Sometimes when you go to sleep with somebody on your mind, it manifests and you actually meet somebody there. That's kind of what this neurotechnology firm is doing. They claim to have achieved the first ever instance of dream-based communication. Now, according to reports, California-based startup REM Space, which has been developing technology to enhance or induce lucid dreaming, has for the first time ever achieved two-way communication between two sleeping individuals through the medium of dreams. Interesting.
So it has to be both parties in agreement. You can't just go stalk like someone famous.
Right.
And they have no idea who you are and you just show up next to the bedside.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
Okay.
I'm not gonna show up in Janet Jackson's dreams.
Right.
It's not, although I wish I would.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen that way, Mallie. She actually has to know who I am first.
Gotcha.
Darn it. While the specific details of the equipment used have not been revealed, the experiment reportedly saw the two participants communicate from separate homes while hooked up to a purpose-built apparatus that included computer servers, Wi-Fi, and some sort of unspecified sensing equipment, which makes some sense. I get that they weren't unaided when they did this, right? Yesterday, communicating in dreams seemed like science fiction, said CEO Michael Raduga. Tomorrow, it will be so common that we won't be able to imagine our lives without this technology, he went on to say. This opens the door to countless commercial applications, reshaping how we think about communication and interaction in the dream world. As things stand, the results of the experiment have yet to be independently verified, but if true, the ability to communicate over distances in dreams would certainly be revolutionary. The firm's research center on lucid dreaming, which is a form of dreaming where the experiencer is able to control what's happening, almost like participating in an interactive movie. Being able to induce this on demand is a major part of what REM Space is trying to achieve. I'd be interested in seeing how it works. I think it'd be kind of cool. But yes, it has to be two people who agree on the scenario.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, there you go. Let's switch it up to some cryptid stuff. You want to?
Sure.
Okay. We were mentioning earlier in the program that another underwater anomaly has been detected in Loch Ness. And by the same way it was last week, by underwater radar. A Loch Ness research vehicle has picked up significant underwater presence in the depths of the loch just a few days after seasoned Loch Ness skipper Sean Sloggy captured a strange underwater object on his sonar. The Loch Ness Center's Deep Scan cruise vessel has reported the detection of a peculiar underwater anomaly that nobody has been able to explain. The vessel, which is equipped with sophisticated radar technology, picked up something strange approximately 200 meters beneath the surface between Urquhart Castle and Fort Augustus back on October 3rd. The fact that the two anomalies have been detected in Loch Ness within the space of a week makes this an intriguing find indeed. These radar readings have raised many questions about what lurks in the depths of Loch Ness, said Loch Ness Center General Manager Nagina Ishak. Our deep scan cruise has consistently aimed to deepen our understanding of the loch's ecosystem. And this finding shows that there are still many unknowns about the loch. We are currently working with Loch Ness researchers to conduct further analysis of these readings, which hopefully mark a major milestone in the search for Nessie. There's a video attached to this as well. So I tell you what, I'm going to post this in the description of the show as well, so you can actually sit and watch the video. The video is a little intriguing. Again, I don't want to play it here for the sake of audio or cheat one video or audio one way or the other. So I'll place this in the description of the show so you can go and watch it for yourself. Elsewhere in cryptid news, there's a chilling video that captures Bigfoot noises in Kentucky in the woods and a spate of unexplained sightings. So I got to just get your opinion here as someone who's come from Kentucky.
Right.
Have you ever heard Bigfoot sounds out there?
No, I haven't.
That was very Justin Timberlake of you. No, I haven't.
Oh.
Does the Robin Gibb deal?
I mean, because like when we do our reunions, we are out in the woods, but
You're out in the sticks, huh?
oh yeah. But old farmhouse. But I've never heard Bigfoot noises.
No. Have you ever heard Bigfoot noises anywhere else?
No. I would like to go on a hunt for Bigfoot, though. I would think that would be cool.
I do too. Honestly, I wanted to go to Eric Altman's deal when he had it back in September, but didn't get a chance to make the arrangement to go out. I hear it was a great event.
Where was it at? What state?
It was out in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Yeah, he had it out in Pennsylvania, and he had a lot of different cryptozoological experts out there. And it was a lot of good stuff out there. I have a video here. Let's see, should we play it? You want to play it? See what we got here? Of course, there's music behind it. Why do they put music behind this video? Is this the video? This doesn't seem like it, does it? Why is there music behind this video?
It's porn.
It's Bigfoot porn. I don't think.
What's worse is when they do the music like super loud so you can't even hear.
Yeah. Hold on a second. That can't be the right video, can it? Hold on a second here. Let's play this.
Okay.
This other video that's here. Hold on. Well, I'll just read the story here. This thing doesn't want to seem to fire off. The minute I decide to read the story, it'll fire off. You watch. Bigfoot investigator has shared incredible new audio of what he believes are sounds made by the mysterious beast as it roams the woods in Kentucky. For over 3 decades, 57-year-old Charlie Raymond, who's a Florida native, has meticulously documented nearly 700 sightings of the elusive creature in his new home state of Kentucky. He went on to establish the Kentucky Bigfoot Research Organization after college, and the calls have flooded in ever since. Speaking exclusively to dailymail.com, he said, I would spend sometimes 2 hours on the phone where people would thank me for listening because their own families did not believe them, he said. And that's when I realized there's something to this. While Raymond predominantly focuses on analyzing other people's Bigfoot reports, he has also collected his own recordings of mysterious sounds in the forest near where he lives in Pine Ridge. In one clip, a loud whooping sound can be heard, which Raymond claims is identical to renowned recordings captured by researcher Ron Moorhead in the Sierra Nevada mountains. It's an exact match and not human. These whoops are almost 50 years apart and over 4,000 miles away, he said. Raymond said he has been fascinated by Bigfoot ever since he was a child, fueled by bedtime stories of the skunk ape and the iconic Patterson Gimlin film. And now that has been transformed into a decades long career. He said the biggest challenge when reviewing the numerous eyewitness accounts is distinguishing between real sightings and false identifications, as well as verifying the credibility of the witnesses. He described how he uses various techniques to eliminate bogus reports, including checking the report that it's consistent with their initial email or call, looking at the area's history of sightings and comparing the detail with other witness descriptions. If I have doubt, I throw it out, he said. As an investigative researcher, it is a death sentence to be associated with hoaxes or liars, so I'm very cautious if I suspect it is not true, Raymond said. You know what else I'm cautious of? Playing videos that don't want to start.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Inside joke there, man. Specific physical details like he also went on to explain how he uses open-ended questions to gather details, descriptions from witnesses, focusing on physical characteristics. Specific physical details like a flat face and wide shoulders help rule out bears or other wildlife. The description that intrigues Raymond the most is when a witness describes seeing something human-like. Verified footprints, hair samples, and tracks that have been collected over the years help provide compelling evidence supporting the existence of Bigfoot. In fact, casts of Bigfoot tracks made by Thomas Shea in northern Kentucky have been verified by experts like Dr. Jeff Meldrum, a leading academic in the pursuit of Bigfoot at Idaho State University. However, the lack of definitive DNA comparison is a sticking point. We don't have a body, and the world is not going to accept this until we have a body, and I don't want to kill one, he said. That's probably a good philosophy. Don't kill the guy. Raymond's system of cross-referencing consistent witness reports and tracking clusters of sightings on Google Maps has led him on expeditions deep in the woods. Based on his research, he paints a picture of Bigfoot as a 7 to 8 foot tall, with a broad build, long arms, hooded nose, and a prominent brow. He claimed that they communicate through tree knocks, whistles, hand claps, mouth pops, and whoops, which he has claimed to have recorded himself. They're not knocking to us, they're knocking to each other. Sometimes we just happen to be at the right place at the right time, he said. Raymond said he believes to have deciphered some of the knocking patterns used by Bigfoot, suggesting they serve as signals to alert other Bigfoot of human presence. One loud knock, we call that a home run knock. It seems to be a warning that people are present in the area and everything gets quiet, said Raymond. 10 fast knocks, like really rapid fast knocks, I call distress knocks, like come quick, I need help. I believe a short, straight line whistle, where one Bigfoot whistles on one side of the trails and another whistles on another side. That's them alerting to each other that humans are present, as if saying, lay low and be quiet. Despite attempts to decode the Bigfoot language, Raymond said their communication methods are largely unpredictable. I still don't know what the 3 knocks means. I've gotten 3 knocks back. I've gotten 1 knock back, and I've done it again and gotten them back. It's hard to get consistency, he said. Unlike primates, he said he believes Bigfoot exhibits higher intelligence, hinting at a closer connection to humans. I tell people that if this was a gorilla, we'd have it in a cage by now, he said. Interesting.
What if it's meth makers in the woods and they're trying to, that's their way of communicating to each other, or they're trying to scare you off? It is Kentucky.
That's true.
I mean, if you're in the woods, the deep woods, the hills of Kentucky, you've got meth makers out there.
That's right. You do. Yeah. You got a lot of drug runners. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point. Raymond also observes regional variations in Bigfoot temperament. While some reports depict aggressive behavior, Kentucky's Bigfoot population generally seems friendly, he claimed. Those are the friendly meth makers, too.
Mm-hmm. Or moonshiners or what. I'm not saying everyone is a meth maker. I'm just saying
Sure.
out in the middle of the woods, you've got some people that are doing that.
That's right. That's right. He shared the story of Howdy, which is a Kentucky Bigfoot known for waving, which he said was possibly a learned behavior from human interaction. Howdy was seen in the 60s, and he walked out of the tree line. He raised his arm up as to wave. as if to say howdy, he said. The behavior of raising up an arm as if waving has been observed by multiple individuals, including 2 teenagers who had no prior knowledge of Bigfoot or howdy in 2011. In another instance, a young boy told Raymond he saw a Bigfoot wave while he was camping with his father, Illinois, suggesting that this behavior is not learned from local folklore stories. However, Raymond said he does not believe it is the same Sasquatch. They don't migrate, said Raymond. From my data, we see the same physical descriptions, the same behaviors over decades, and we think howdy, because of the descriptions of behavior, stays in those couple counties in Kentucky. We do find nests which are large, are usually pine needles, impressions usually tucked away under some trees or some down, but they don't stay long. Raymond's passion for Bigfoot extends beyond data collection to personal encounters. One chilling experience occurred during a hike with a landowner in Kentucky, where he claimed they received clear responses during a tree knocking experiment. His friend noticed that the response originated further down the ravine, suggesting a possible Bigfoot was following them. I find it hard to believe a random person was out there in the woods in freezing cold rain following us and decided to knock back to us, he said. Another encounter involved a fallen tree after someone tried to communicate with the Bigfoot, highlighting their territorial nature. One team member heard growls, so he responded with a deep, threatening growl. Immediately, a tree fell right in front of us, said Raymond. Yes, trees fall, but there was no wind that night. Okay. I don't know that a Bigfoot's pushing a tree over.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Could have brought it out.
We went and found the tree the next day, and it was green, meaning it was green, meaning it was alive. For aspiring Bigfoot researchers, Raymond suggested thermal imagers and high sensitivity audio equipment. He emphasized acting naturally like a casual camper to avoid scaring them off. They want to watch us. We are their TV. We're in their living room. We're their entertainment, says Raymond. As long as we go out, we're non-threatening. We play music, we cook food, we camp. They will come observe us. Then we will try the knocks and whoops and whistles and stuff to communicate with them. But you cannot go with camo and flashlights and guns. They know what hunters do, and they will take off. But of all the wooded areas in North America, why would Bigfoot set up shop in Kentucky? It takes 2 things to have a sighting. It takes a Bigfoot and it takes a witness, he said. In Kentucky, we live in their backyards. We live right with them, side by side, in these hills and hollers. So we tend to have a lot of reports. Ultimately, Raymond says he believes Bigfoot's intelligence and adaptability are key to their elusiveness. They've adapted over thousands of years to elude us, to evade us, and they have far better senses than us, he said. However, despite these 3 decades to dedicated pursuit, Raymond has yet to see a Bigfoot, though this has in no way dimmed his passion for the research. That's what excites me, is adding all this stuff up, and that's why I'm a believer, not a knower, he said. Everything is speculation based on years of experience that I've gathered. Well, it sounds like Raymond's got quite the Bigfoot racket going on there.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. I tell you what, I'll post this one as well in the description of the show so you can try and play the video that I couldn't play. Because it's a little bit of a difficult one. So there you go. Got one last story here, Mel, for the day. And it's an interesting one. We're all, in one way or another, somewhat fans of Indiana Jones, depending on which movie you're talking about, whether it be Raiders of the Lost Ark, even up to that last movie that Disney released. I don't know. Were you a fan of the last Indiana Jones movie?
I did not watch it.
You didn't watch it?
Nope.
What was your, okay, I got to know. What stopped you from watching it?
I'm just not an Indiana Jones fan.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I've seen like the first one. I think I saw the second one, but it's just not my cup of tea.
Not your cup of tea. Okay. Found the one. No, I'm just kidding. Well, most of us are Indiana Jones fans. We'll put it that way.
Okay.
I became one. I mean, obviously some of us had a natural curiosity from, from Harrison Ford playing Han Solo to coming over to Indiana Jones. We all had that natural curiosity to see what this character was. I got hooked from Raiders of the Lost Ark, and then anything after that, I absolutely had to see this character. So I got hooked. And then there was the history part of it too that hooked me. So I wanted to see these different adventures of Indiana Jones. So I was hooked immediately.
Gotcha.
The digging through the dirt thing didn't necessarily, archaeology to me, and it fascinates me at times, but then other times I go, there's a lot of digging through dirt that can be a little boring, right?
Right.
But some of the adventures were quite exciting. Well, there was a lost tomb that was unearthed beneath an Indiana Jones filming location in Petra. So yes, they found treasure while filming a movie about filming about treasure. You know what I'm trying to say.
Right.
The discovery was made beneath the resting place of the Holy Grail in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Go figure. Archaeologists have announced the discovery of a long-lost tomb beneath the ancient city of Petra, Jordan, filming location for the final scenes of the third Indiana Jones movie. While in the film, the location was the entrance to the final resting place of the Holy Grail, in reality, the more than 2,000-year-old city, which consists of buildings and water conduit systems carved from the area's distinctive pink sandstone, has nothing at all to do with the long-sought biblical relic. That's not to say that it doesn't have some secrets of its own, however, as the new discovery of a hidden tomb beneath the city is one of the most significant finds in the region for some time. Archaeologists found 12 skeletons and a range of artifacts dating back over 2,000 years.
Oh.
All they had to do was get Indy and his whip out there with a bunch of guys with shovels, and they would have found this stuff. Saying. Bizarrely, one particular ceramic cup looks almost exactly like the Holy Grail from the movie. Interesting. The new tomb was found using ground-penetrating radar in an area near two other tombs that had been unearthed within the vicinity a few years ago. Because most tombs found in Petra are usually empty after being looted in antiquity, the discovery of the tomb, with all its contents still intact, will offer archaeologists a unique opportunity for study. This is a hugely rare discovery. In the 2 centuries that Petra has been investigated by archaeologists, nothing like this has ever been found before, said Josh Gates, the host of Discovery Channel's new series, Expedition Unknown, which will be covering the excavation. So you know what this also means, Mallie?
What?
They actually found something on Expedition Unknown.
That's true. That's the worst when you get involved in a series and then nothing is ever found.
Very true.
Ugh, frustrating.
Even in front of one of the most famous buildings in the world, there are still huge discoveries to be made. So there you go. They found something at Petra. Right where they filmed Indiana Jones. There are still many, many treasures to be found out there in the world.
Cool.
And it turns out Indy found it before Josh Gates. So that'll do it for today's program. Speaking of finding treasures and finding lost things, tomorrow on the big program, well, you know what? Before we tease it, let's tease people about what you have going on, and then I'll talk.
Just trying to enjoy the Halloween season. Just got done with the cemetery walk, volunteered for that. Check out paranormalgirl.com for merchandise. And yeah, just trying to enjoy things.
There you go. There you go. By the way, do you have big plans for Halloween? Have you?
For Halloween, my town is big into Halloween, so I'll just be out there passing out candy to the kids. So,
oh, there you go.
Yeah. Make some chili, some cornbread.
Do you
watch my horror movies?
Oh, do you have a favorite one?
Changeling.
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Oldie but a goodie.
Oldie but a goodie. By the way,
yes.
Have you seen the trailer for the new Nosferatu?
Yes, that looks so good.
Oh my God. Okay, so by the way, folks, this comes out at Christmas. If you haven't seen the trailer yet, I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to post a bonus blog for this week with the trailer in it. The trailer for this movie is out of this world. And you want to talk about, a lot of times the trailer is a lot of hype for the movie, and then the movie comes out and it's flat.
Uh-huh.
But there are remarkable lines in the trailer.
Yeah.
There's Mallie, I've not seen a trailer like this for a movie in quite some time. And I really think this is going to be this generation's version of Interview with the Vampire
Okay. Yep.
or Dracula, or,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think this is going to be something special.
Yeah.
I really do. It's just a shame that it's coming out in Christmas.
Yeah.
I mean, normally when a movie comes out at that time of year, there's something wrong, or it's either there's something wrong or it's coming up for Oscar consideration.
Ooh, maybe that's it.
This movie could be that good.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping it's the latter,
Yeah.
that this movie is that good, because it's got Willem Dafoe in it.
Yes.
And if
He
it's
always gets into his character.
right, and if it's got Willem Dafoe in it, and notice they haven't given you in both the teaser trailer and in the first full-length trailer, they
Uh-huh.
haven't given you a hint as to what the monster looks like.
Right.
Not a hint, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping that this is going to pay off.
Mm-hmm. Hey, did you by chance see the new Salem's Lot?
I have not yet. I've heard
I thought it was okay.
I've heard that people just say, oh, it's okay.
Yeah, I mean it was entertaining because the original scared the crap out of me when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was entertained.
I have Max, and I've been watching I've been head over heels for the new Penguin series.
Oh, that's next on my list to watch.
Yeah, you got it. You got it. There's 4 episodes out now. And I think it's
Uh-huh.
6 or 8 that are coming out.
Yeah.
But it's
I
really,
usually wait for more of them to come out because I'm such a binger
Mhm.
that I have a hard time like waiting each week.
you're
So I
gonna
like to wait a little bit and then
you're gonna want to watch it.
spend my afternoon watching.
It's worth the wait. It really is
Yeah.
worth the wait. Yeah. In fact, the anticipation makes it that much better.
Uh-huh.
I think. I think.
Yeah.
Um, it's that good.
Uh,
In fact, it's I hate to say this, but the Matt Reeves is so good, and the people he surrounds himself with, the filmmakers he surrounds himself with, are so good.
uh-huh.
And this is a perfect companion piece to that Batman world that he set up.
Okay.
And they announced this past week the release date for Batman 2,
Mm-hmm.
The Shiny Vampire Kid, which I didn't initially, when they said that he was going to be Batman,
Right.
I cringed. I cringed.
Oh.
Then the movie came out and I went, all right, he's not bad.
Yeah.
But I love the characters surrounding him.
Mm-hmm.
I really did think that Matt Reeves did an amazing job building that world. I really did like that movie.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the Batman. I thought it was a good movie. I cringed a little bit when Sparkly Vampire Kid was Bruce Wayne.
Right.
I didn't know if I liked that. I didn't like that part of it, but I loved the world. I thought the entire world was amazing.
Okay.
I thought Matt Reeves did an excellent job.
Uh-huh.
When you see Colin Farrell as the Penguin,
Uh-huh.
you can't, again, much like the movie, you can't tell it's him.
I think he's an underrated actor.
He's amazing. He's amazing. You totally get lost in everything.
Yeah.
But the supporting cast they put around him are amazing. I forget the name of the actress who plays Sophia Falcone. She's, again, we got to be talking best actress at the Emmys.
Ooh, okay.
That good.
Ooh.
She's that good. And this latest episode that came out, episode 4,
Uh-huh.
she doesn't win an Emmy for this episode, I'll eat my hat.
Ooh. Okay.
It's an amazing episode. And I
Huh.
think, again, I think you ought to jump into it and just watch it 1 through 4 and get ready for 5 on Sunday.
Right. Okay.
Because it's a ride. It really,
Right.
and it's the perfect mix of comic book movie, Sopranos, and a little bit of
Oh,
it.
okay. I love The Sopranos.
Yeah, it's really good. It's
Okay.
really good. And you know what? You don't see a superhero in it at all. That's the thing. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's really a mob drama.
Okay. Ooh.
Yeah, but it's got a little tinge of horror to it.
Okay. Well, I
Really.
know what I'm doing on Saturday then.
There you go. So, um, but it's perfect. I think the Penguin is absolutely perfect. So I think I'll check out Salem's Lot this weekend. I think
Yeah.
that
I mean, it was entertaining. Like I said, it's, but, I know some people weren't happy with it, but I mean, I thought it was okay.
that's what I've heard. It's just okay, and
Yeah.
I don't want that to color the other because the remake of the movie was just
Yeah. Well, sometimes remakes just aren't that good,
yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
But yeah, Nosferatu. That was
Okay.
that
Yeah,
that,
no, I saw a commercial for that. I was like, oh,
that I think that is going to be a generational film. I think that's the only reason they held it for Christmas
right.
is because it's going to win awards.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I think at least it's going to win awards um in the makeup categories.
Okay. Yep.
Maybe even story. I don't know. They're doing something with this and it may be on that same level as Interview with the Vampire back in 94.
Right.
About that 30 years since we've had that type or level of film.
Mm-hmm.
And you're talking about the genre of horror.
Yeah.
And it may be that, and even 100 years since a Nosferatu film,
Right.
but we may be looking at something like,
Hmm.
who knows? But we have to wait for Christmas to find out.
Yep.
Yeah. Tomorrow on the big show, speaking of monsters, on the big show tomorrow, we have two of the cast of the brand new show, Lost Monster Files on Discovery. How do you like that, man?
Mm-hmm.
Brittany Barbieri, who's a cryptozoologist, and Charlie Mushaw, who is the field scientist and tech expert from the Lost Monster Files and beyond. I gave you guys a little bit of homework this past weekend to check out Lost Monster Files. They are reopening the recent unearthed decades-old archive of famed cryptozoologist Ivan Sanderson, and they're reinvestigating his most compelling unexplained creature cases, including such things as Chupacabra and the Wild Man of Minnesota, and many, many other cases. This show is intriguing. I've been watching some of the screeners for it.
Uh-huh.
Intriguing stuff.
Cool.
Think of it like, and I hate to draw the parallel because it's not a parallel, it's a totally different,
Right.
but draw the parallel of Holzer Files for cryptozoology. And that's how they do it in the TV industry. Think,
They do comparisons. Yeah.
yeah, blank meets blank, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's how they do it in the TV industry.
That's
But
how
if
you sell it.
That's right. But if you have to draw that parallel, draw that parallel. To give you an idea, Ivan Sanderson, who is the founder of cryptozoology, the study of the unknown and legendary species, amassed the most extensive collection of unexplained creature research on Earth. He died in 1973, and his archive was kept hidden. The team is now applying long hidden insights and clues from Sanderson's physical specimens, journals, and audio recordings to new field investigations. If you haven't seen the show yet, see it.
Okay.
Yeah. We're going to talk to Brittany. We're going to talk to Charlie tomorrow. So it's going to be a good show. So we got that coming up tomorrow. Lost Monster File.
Cool.
Looking forward to it. So that is coming tomorrow on the big program. I told you October is going to be huge.
Yep. I
Yeah.
love this season.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're doing it up big on the show here. So, by the way, Brittany has been on programs like Unidentified with Demi Lovato, UFO Witness. She's been on Jack Osborne's Night of Terror and Virginia City, Nevada.
Okay.
Yeah. So you may have seen Brittany there. So if you wonder where you've seen Brittany before. And Charlie is the host of Arcane Carolinas, which is a podcast dedicated to exploring the folklore, legends, and modern weird tales of the Carolinas backgrounds. So,
Okay. Huh.
so they've both been in other places before.
Very cool.
But we're going to get to know them a little bit better tomorrow. I'm looking forward to this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know you guys like to go into different areas other than just ghosts and UFOs. So talk monsters tomorrow. Dig into it. So sounds like it's going to be a good time. So, all right, with that, and then next week, oh my gosh, I don't even know that I dare tip my hand towards. You know what? I'm going to tip my hand towards True
Okay.
next week. You ready for this?
Uh-huh.
They always say Stacy's mom's got it going on.
Yep.
But she ain't got it going on if she's holding the chainsaw.
Oh.
There's your clue for True Crime Tuesday.
Okay.
If you had a sleepover at your friend's house and it turns out his mom or her mom could kill you in your sleep, that's True Crime Tuesday.
Okay.
How's that for a nightmare?
There we go.
So there you go.
Creepy. Yeah.
I'm telling you, we're bringing it. That's coming up. I'm telling you, I'm finding new and exciting stuff here for October.
I like it.
There you go. All right. So that's going to do it for today. For Mallie Fox, I'm Tim Dennis. Again, if you like what you're hearing, give us a nice 5-star review wherever you're hearing the program. We'll see you tomorrow for Lost Monster Files right here. This is Darkness Radio.
For more audio and video archives of the show, informative blogs, fun store merchandise, and more, please visit darknessradioshow.com. Thank you so much for watching.